What is good, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Raider Alex. Post game reaction: the Raiders fall to the Steelers. Let's talk about it.
Jacobs is on his way. The Raiders are going to win this game.
Let's go.
Then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
Yo, what is good, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Raider Alex, back with another live stream. Yo, we already got 31 people in the building. Salute to everybody here. Yo, I had to come on live real quick just because, just like the rest of you guys, I was watching the Sunday night football game, Raiders versus the Steelers, and boy, was this game very, very frustrating. The Raiders lose 23-18. And for a minute, it looked like the Raiders were about to get dominated. We were down 2 scores, I believe 21-7 for, like midway into the third quarter. But the Raiders eventually were able to get back into the ball game. The offense, even though, we got a couple calls that, went our way, especially that the roughing the passer call on Jimmy Garoppolo. Look, I thought that was a clean hit, but look, it is what it is. The Raiders were able to punch it into the end zone. They were able to get the 2-point conversion, which at that point was crucial if we wanted to get back into the ballgame. We were going to have to score 2 touchdowns and also get two-point conversion attempts on that. And look, the Raiders on offense, they got things going way too late, and unfortunately, too late in the ballgame, there was a lot of questionable calls from our head coach Josh McDaniels that I want to get into. But without further ado, let's jump to the people in the chat real quick. Salute to Dodgers, everything. Jimmy G with 3 interceptions is not good. Yep, that's one thing we're going to talk about too. Jimmy Garoppolo, the second interception was just I think it was the second one, but he had one interception that was just really, really bad. I don't know what he was, thinking when he threw that ball. It almost kind of looked like maybe he was trying to throw it out of bounds, but that was just a terrible read right there. And look, I will say, 49ers fans did warn me about Jimmy Garoppolo, that this was a big thing with him, that every now and then he has one boneheaded play, and that was that play for us today, and that led to interception. O-line was not good either. Yep, they were not good. Look, in pass blocking, they weren't that bad, even though TJ Watt was definitely breathing down Jimmy Garoppolo's neck the whole entire game. But just the main issue, once again, is we can't run the ball at all. We're going to get into the statistics real quick. So Josh Jacobs had 17 carries for 62 yards, about 3.6 yards per carry. Look, not good enough. And especially early in the game, like he wasn't getting anything going. Kind of towards the end of the game, we were getting a little bit better, gains on the run. But when we actually had to like establish a tempo on offense and begin to run the rock, we weren't able to do so in the beginning of the game. So very, very frustrating. And look, it's already 3 games in and we can't run the ball, especially last season we were so dominant at it. This is very concerning. Like, are we ever going to be able to run the rock? And also, too, I'm pretty sure the Steelers' run defense was like one of the worst in the National Football League. So if we can't run the ball on the worst teams in the National Football League, what's going to happen when we go against the teams that are actually good at stopping the run? Like, is Jimmy Garoppolo going to have to throw the ball over 40 times every single game for us to even have a chance? And look, if that's a scenario, then look, that's not good for this team. It's going to be a long season for the Raiders if that's the scenario. Dominique 5, McDaniels and this regime have to go. Yo, talk your shit, man. Let's talk about it. And I'm going to get to Josh McDaniels. To me, there was just one thing towards the end of the game that just I can't believe he made that call. Defense was not bad. I agree. I think the defense overall was okay, except for that big bomb they gave up early in the game to the speedster. It looked like they were running cover one. It kind of looks like it was on Marcus Peters. That was it looks like he got burned on that play, but I'm gonna have to watch the all 22 film when that comes out to confirm that. But not looking good. At least they are consistent at that. I mean, yeah, one thing we're consistent at is that we can't run the damn football. I'll tell you that. Salute to you, man. Thank you for pulling up. AP says tank for Caleb Williams. It's a little bit too early to talk about the tank. Looking forward to the draft, but I will say, I mean, the Chargers next week, not going to be an easy matchup. If we lose that game, things are not looking pretty for the Raiders. Dodgers everything says not sure what McDaniels was thinking about at the end of the game. Should have went for it on 4th and 4. Yep, exactly. And that was my main issue. It really makes no sense because I don't know if he was just like if I don't know if he was just scared, or I don't know why he doesn't go for it on 4th down right there, because no matter what, you're going to need a touchdown in that scenario. You're down 23-15. A field goal really does you no good unless you're that confident in your defense that they're going to get a 3 now. But even then, the scenario stays the exact same. You need a touchdown no matter what to get back into the ball game. So look, you're already, I think we're at like the 15-yard line. We're close. You might as well get aggressive and try to go for it and try to get that touchdown right then and there. I mean, if we would have got the touchdown, if we would have got the 2-point conversion, then that changes the ball game completely. Now the defense, look, now you're trying to get a stop and try to win the game. And look, let's say you get aggressive, right? Let's say you go for it on 4th down and you don't get it. Well, like I said, the scenario stays the same. Now the Steelers are going to have the ball on their own 15-yard line. Now you still need a 3. Now you still need to get a stop as soon as possible, and then you get the ball again, and you try to get a touchdown again. So just a head scratcher right there. And that's really one thing when it comes to Josh McDaniels. These are like the important calls. You got to know when to go for on 4th down, when to take the points. It's very questionable when it comes to that aspect. Bricky7 says, fire McDumbass. Oh my God, bro. I can't believe what I saw from McDaniels today. And like I said, the way this team is built, our offense has to be the one that kind of carries us, just because, we have an offensive-minded head coach, right? You have an offensive-minded head coach. You have a star wide receiver, Devontae Adams. You spent like $11 million on Jacoby Myers. You got a slot wide receiver on Hunter Renfrow that's getting paid $13 million. You invested a high draft pick, a 2nd-round pick in Michael Mayer. Look, the list goes on and on. This team is really built to be explosive, be dynamic, and ultimately be able to put points on the board. And look, it's unacceptable that you go that far into the ballgame with only 7 points. So really bad on the offense. Jerry Montoya says, inept offense, no defense, pass on Jalen Carter, regime clueless on putting together a team. Yo, man, I hear you, man. I'm very frustrated just like you are, but another one. They need to fire Josh McDaniels. Yo, if he keeps it up, that's exactly what's going to happen. Salute to Robert Pena. Jimmy was bad, but it has a lot to do with the O-line. To me, when it comes to Jimmy G, for one, the biggest thing to me is we can't run the ball. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is not a quarterback that's built to throw the ball 44 times. I think he threw the ball for 44 times. Jimmy G is just not that quarterback that you can depend on a drop back time after time and have to throw you back into the game. Look, he may do that once or twice throughout the season, but to have to do that time in and time out, like I said, if the Raiders can't run the football effectively, then it's going to be a long season for us. And look, even if Josh Jacobs can't run the ball effectively, this is why Josh McDaniels is an offensive guy, right? This is why he's an offensive guru. He has to find another way to, get some more screen passes, get some quick passes, where he can get wide receivers, running in open space, kind of like how he did with DeAndre Carter. When we were like 3rd and 34, stuff like that, because those plays essentially kind of serve like a they essentially kind of serve like a run play as well. But the point is, this team has to be a lot more balanced because if we don't, that's what's going to happen with Jimmy Garoppolo. This guy stinks. 3 picks. Yep, Jimmy Garoppolo. Very frustrating. Robert Pena, tired of us losing. Yo, I hear you. I know everybody feels the exact same way as you. It's ridiculous. Yep, Adams was doubled on the second interception. Yeah, I can't remember which one was the one where he kind of threw to like Jacoby Myers. I can't remember if that was the first one or the second one. I think it was the second one, but he had one really bad interception. Raider Sprayer says start Aiden O'Connell. Yo, like I think it's a little bit too early for that, but I will say another questionable call for Josh McDaniels is he always has Aiden O'Connell on the inactive list. And what happened today? Jimmy Garoppolo got hit pretty hard. He got like an awkward position. There was a good chance that I was kind of starting to prepare for the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo was gonna have to leave the ball game. And if he was, guess what would have happened? Brian Hoyer would have been out there. And yo, Raider, I just realized my microphone was way back there. I don't know. Hopefully you guys have been able to hear me for the last 12 minutes. If not, that's pretty embarrassing. But yo, I got the microphone right there, so I should be good to go now. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to Aiden O'Connell, you have to have him on the active game day roster because if Jimmy Garoppolo goes down, and look, history shows that Jimmy Garoppolo typically always gets injured at some point throughout the season. Look, we're just hoping he doesn't get hurt he doesn't have to miss the rest of the season or anything like that. But if Jimmy Garoppolo, gets hurt and he can't come back into the ball game and we have to rely on Brian Hoyer, yo, ladies and gentlemen, we are losing that game 100%. At least with Aiden O'Connell, I mean, he's shown in the preseason that he can throw the ball very accurately. And look, you never know. He might go out there and have a good performance. Why did he kick a field goal? Yo, I don't know. I really don't know. That's a head scratcher for all of us. That's a dumb play that's a dumb move right there, yo. You need a touchdown no matter what. Field goal serves you no good. Be aggressive. You're already at like the 15-yard line. Yo, trust your playmakers. Trust Devontae Adams. Trust Jacoby Myers. It's absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe he did that. Josh McDaniels always runs on first down. Typically, but the issue is we can't run the ball on first down. We can't run the ball on second down. We can't run the ball on third down. Brandon says, Alex, we need to fire McDaniels, man. Look, I hear you. I mean, everybody's very frustrated. I'm going to give him the rest of the season. I mean, I don't see us firing anybody. I don't see us firing Josh McDaniels mid-season unless things get terrible. But, like I said, for this season, for me, I wanted to see improvement. 3 games in, but so far, the last 2 games have not looked good. And let's look back at it too. Who did we beat the week 1? We beat the Denver Broncos. Now, cool. It's a divisional rival. You have to win those games. Yeah, they just win, baby. We found a way to win. But, look at the Denver Broncos. They're 0-3. They just got a 70-point. They just got 70 points put on them from the Miami Dolphins. And the Raiders just barely squeaked by the Denver Broncos. Think about that. 17-16. Multiple different times throughout that game, I thought we were actually going to lose. And, I mean, the Denver Broncos looking like a terrible team. And if the Raiders just barely beat them, then, it's very concerning. Buffalo was the first real test of this season. We failed it miserably. It's not looking too good right now. Dominique 5 says, Marcus Peters dropped a clear pick 6. He has to make that play. Yep, that is very true. Really, those are the 2 things that I know that, just really got me frustrated with the defense was that big play we gave up early in the ball game. And this, the Raiders still don't have a turnover. Marcus Peters, why did we sign a guy like that? I mean, he's not the same player he used to be. He's not a shutdown corner anymore, but we signed him because we need turnovers bad. And it hits your hands right there. That could have really changed this ball game. I think it was 7-7 at that point. If you get that pick six, you go up 14-7. He needs to come up with that play. Edgar says this was lost on the offensive side and coaching. I 100% agree with you. I expect a lot more from this offense. And Josh McDaniels, he's an offensive-minded head coach. So it don't make sense that you got an offensive-minded head coach and you're not good on offense, especially with the type of weapons we have on this team. You got Devontae, you got Jacoby Myers, you got Hunter Renfrow, who I don't even know why we got Renfrow on this team, to be honest with you. He's underutilized like a motherfucker, and he's getting paid $13 million. We have one of the best backs in the league, but we can't run the ball. Inexcusable. Xavier says Jimmy G ain't it. Look, I think Jimmy G's still a good quarterback, but just the way this offense is going right now, he don't fit what we're trying to do on offense. He needs a run game. Raider Bain says we are trash. I hear you, man. We should have went for the run. Not sure exactly what you mean. What you mean by that? Hey, salute to Afakasi Raiders. Salute Raider Alex. Hey, thank you for pulling up, man. Xavier says we need Aiden to throw the ball deep. Jimmy is cooked. The deep threat is what unlocks Jacobs. Look, we did do a much better job in this game with the deep ball, though, right? The 4th and 1, we hit them deep with Devontae Adams a couple different times. We at least got the ball moving up front. But the thing is, too, the O-line is not opening up. It doesn't look like they're really opening up a lot of things for Josh Jacobs. John says, bro, the Steelers suck. They just suck less than the Raiders. I don't know, man. It's early for me to, make a prediction and analysis on the Steelers. I don't know. I think they're going to be a team that definitely fights, in their division. But, this team, we could have, if this team was clicking on all cylinders, we could have definitely done a lot better. But, oh, my God, bro. It's just the way this game went. You can't go, I think it was like midway through this third quarter with only 7 points. McDaniels gotta go. Oh my God, bro. Brandon C says Jimmy's processing is a huge problem, not just his arm strength. Rewatch the game. His processing caused most of the issues. And look, that's one thing we're going to definitely get into. We're definitely going to, watch the all 22 film. Really what I saw from Jimmy Garoppolo is the Steelers did a really good job getting pressure on him early, and part of that is just because we can't run the ball. We're put in obvious pass down situations. He almost got hurt right before halftime. So really after that, there were a lot of times where the offensive line did a good job blocking. Like he had time. Like you could see he's going to one side looking, trying to make his progressions. But a lot of times he looked kind of antsy inside the pocket. You could just kind of tell that he was not comfortable out there. And, that's a big problem. And like I said, I think that was because the Steelers did a really good job getting to him early and making him uncomfortable. So Brandon Coleman says, Chiefs fan here. Devontae Adams is a beast. McDaniels is y'all problem. Jimmy G panicked, though, twice. I definitely think McDaniels right now he's getting exposed. Devontae Adams for sure, like he went absolutely crazy. I think Jimmy Garoppolo, you're kind of starting to see that, it did affect him when it comes to not like missing a good part of training camp. It's also, he's still got to find that timing and that, build that strong connection with Devontae Adams, because even then there's still times where Jimmy G is just kind of, it just doesn't look like they're on the same page. But hey, man, shout out for you, being here, even though you're a Chiefs fan, but no need to take the L. I'm not a Raiders fan. Oh. Devontae should request a trade. I don't know. We're not there yet, man, but I hear you. Hey, shout out to Xavier Foster for the $2 super chat. He says, Aiden will save McDaniel's ass. Jimmy is done. Look, I think it's too early to to play Aiden O'Connell, but I think Aiden O'Connell is definitely a guy you got to keep, in the back of your mind. If you're Josh McDaniels, you're already 3 weeks in, right? And if I will say, I am a little bit more confident in Aiden O'Connell's, aggressiveness down the field to throw these deep passes. Look, in the preseason, he looked really good when it comes to, accuracy down the field. He was able to throw the ball in tight windows. Now, that is in the preseason. He's going against 2s and 3s. At the same time, though, he's playing with 2s and 3s. But my main issue, too, the first thing McDaniels has to do, he has to put him on the game day roster, because if Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt, then we're going to have Brian Hoyer out there, and that's just a waste of snaps, in my opinion. If Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt, or if this thing gets so bad that Jimmy Garoppolo has to get benched, throw Aiden O'Connell out there. Let's see what the rookie's got. It says, at Raider Alex, if they fire Josh McDaniels, do you think they should consider hiring Jim Harbaugh, or Rich Bisaccia? Look, a little bit too premature to talk about McDaniels getting fired, but if he did get fired, I don't think either one of those candidates are going to be coming to the Raiders. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't want Rich Bisaccia to be the coach either. The guy hasn't. I mean, he's a good guy and everything, but I think we would have been in a similar situation with Rich Bisaccia. I mean, he's never been a head coach in his life. When the Raiders didn't hire him, I mean, there's a reason why he didn't get a head coaching job anywhere else. But if McDaniels gets fired, Dave Zieler's got to go with him too, because at that point we got to kind of start over again, and we'll just have to see. But he has more interceptions than touchdowns. I mean, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Fuck. Honestly, I was ready for Brian Hoyer to be out there. I was done with Jimmy. No, bro. Hell no, bro. I do not want to see Brian Hoyer out there. That guy is cheeks. Dodgers, everything. Yeah, definitely don't want to see Hoyer out there. I agree, bro. And like I said, it's just a waste of snaps, bro. Why are you going to put a guy that's like 40 years old? He's not the future. Put in Aiden O'Connell. If he struggles, okay, he's going to learn. But you never know. I mean, this offense is talented. You have weapons on offense. You got, when you got a guy like Devontae Adams, he's going to make the quarterback just look so much better. He's just a security blanket for them out there. But bro, Raiders season is over. We'll have to see, man. You got to take it week by week, man. Quan says, for real, bro, why kick a field goal? We need touchdowns. Exactly. Josh McDaniels chooses the worst times to be conservative, and I hate that. Broncos get destroyed by a historic beating. Yeah, 70 points. That's something you see on Madden. I couldn't believe it when I saw that. And like I said, the only win we have on our season is against the Denver Broncos. I thought that the Broncos are going to be better than they currently are now. So the Raiders team does not look like they're in a good shape right now. Brandon says, Miami's going to kick us down the stairs too. Oh, yeah, we do face Miami. If we don't get our act together, they could easily put up 40 points on us or more. Ricky says, Nate Hobbs had a good game. Yes, he did. Overall, the defense wasn't a huge problem for me. I mean, we had a couple plays, that blown coverage for the touchdown, a pick six that should have – Marcus Peters, you got to make that play. But besides that, I mean, the defense did overall a pretty good job. But it was just, to me, it was just the offense. What's up, bro? Why do you think the Raiders coach didn't go for it on fourth down? I don't know. I think he was scared, man. I don't know what else, I don't know what else it would be. I mean, like I said, you need a touchdown no matter what. Why kick a field goal? It makes zero sense. Do you think the Raiders coach was paid by Vegas or tanking when he kicked the field goal? I don't think so. I think he just kind of over his head sometimes, because I saw these same kind of situations last year as well. And I don't know, man. Maybe the job for a head coach, for Josh McDaniels is, is too big of a role for him to fill. But I don't know, man. That's kind of what I saw with McDaniels. Xavier, we need long bombs, not just 25 to 30-yard passes. I hear you, man, but I think we can, if we can consistently get those 20 to 30-yard passes with complemented with a good run game, I think this offense could be really good, but we can't get anything going on the run. That Way podcast. These missed first-round draft picks over the 6 years are really starting to hurt us. Lack of depth, bad coaching, and an average quarterback. Yo, you're not lying there. I wasn't really a huge fan of Tyree Wilson. And really the big thing with Tyree Wilson is this guy's a developmental piece. Yo, I'm tired of getting developmental guys in the first round. Like, get a guy that can start, week 1 for this team. Go for Jalen Carter. I understand, we had that Henry Ruggs situation, but yo, that's why you got to be confident in the culture you're building, right? I mean, supposedly they're getting, people that fit their culture in the building. That's why you get leaders on that team. And look, no matter what, I mean, a player can get in trouble in Philadelphia and Las Vegas and New York and Wisconsin. It don't matter. So, but man, we should have. I would have pulled the trigger on Jalen Carter. We have yet to put 20 points this season on offense. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think this team, if the Raiders want to have a successful season, I think more times than not, this offense has to score 20 to 28 points, give or take. I think this defense is good enough to hold teams right around 20 points. So like I said, if you can get, 24 points on a consistent basis, you're going to win more games than not. But, the Raiders, oh my God, this offense continues to stall. And look, Josh McDaniels, he got his type of quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, and he's still not getting it done. So Josh tanking for the number 1 overall pick. I don't know, man. It's hard to say. I don't think so, but you never really know. I hope not, because that just means that Mark Davis is willing to give this guy 4 years, because if you're going to tank this season, right, if you're going to tank and get the best quarterback on the board, right, well, guess what? Next year, you're not going to fire him either if you don't have the greatest season, because guess what? It's the rookie year of your new quarterback. So I hope not, because the way things are going, you can't give Josh McDaniels 4 years if we continue to see what we just saw. Why did we sign Jimmy G? We had a chance for Lamar. I mean, the thing is, you're gonna have to trade for Lamar. I don't think the Raiders we're not in a good position to trade for a guy like Lamar Jackson. So I think that's why they didn't go for it. Xavier says Hunter will be gone, Jimmy will be gone, Chandler will be gone, Bilal Nichols will be gone, and Bolden might be gone. I mean, assume you mean next season, maybe Hunter. I think Jimmy G will be on the team next year. I think he's going to be on the team. Maybe he's not the starter, but worst case scenario, he'd be the backup. But we'll just see. Cap Space City 2024. Yes, we're bad this year. Yeah, I mean, next year we're supposed to have a lot more cap space, so maybe that's where they get a little bit more aggressive. But I think unfortunately the Raiders are kind of paying for their consequences when it comes to the offseason. Because I think, look, I was okay with us moving on from Derek Carr. And the main thing, one of the main benefits from moving on from Derek Carr, I thought last season, was you get rid of that $40 million contract. I think Jimmy G, you got him on a solid deal. I mean, you're not committed to him long term. So, why not invest more on the defensive side of the football? Look, don't get me wrong. Robert Spillane's a solid pickup. Marcus Epps, he's okay, right? The moves we make, they're okay, but we didn't get any real difference maker on defense, and that's really what this team is missing. Now, today, I do not put this loss on the defense whatsoever. I think they did a good enough job to at least keep us in the game, but to have 7 points when you're like midway through the third quarter is absolutely unacceptable, especially when you have a head coach, Josh McDaniels, who is supposed to be an offensive-minded head coach. Look, look at the Miami Dolphins. Now that's a real coach that's an offensive-minded coach. That guy knows offense. You know, the Miami Dolphins, they're an offense that, they're looking to put points on the board. So it doesn't make sense that you get a coach that's supposed to be an offensive-minded guru. You get Devontae Adams, you get all these different weapons on offense, and you can't move the ball. You can't put points on the board. Unacceptable. Anderson Martinez says the whole team will be gone except for Josh McDummy. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, we'll just have to see how the season goes. If I don't see improvement, that's where I'm like, I want Josh McDaniels out of here. And as I said, if you're gonna have to fire Josh McDaniels at the end of the season, I want Dave Ziegler gone. Even though I think Dave Ziegler has done he's done a good job, but he still has missed. He hasn't done a good job when it comes to the free agency pickups. I mean, Chandler Jones, that's looking like a terrible pickup from last year's offseason, stuff like that. But we'll just see. Hey, salute to Raider Joe. He says, Raider Alex, this is crazy. This is crazy, bro. This team, man, I swear. Yeah, man, this team is looking really bad. I mean, one could argue maybe they're looking just as bad or worse than last season. That's hard to say. I just can't believe it. Nightcrawler says, going to the game next week at SoFi, praying we actually wake up and get a win. Hey, man, shout out to you for going to SoFi, man. I wanted to go to SoFi as well, just because it's I mean, I live out here in Oregon, so I'd have to get a flight, but I do have family out there, and maybe I could stay there. But I don't know. We'll see, man. Have a good time at the game. And another thing too, man, I just got tickets to go to the Las Vegas, go to Vegas. I think when they play the New York Giants, and man, just the way I saw them play today, I was literally considering like going on my phone and canceling my tickets. Let me get my refund, because if this is what I have to, spend my money on, my hard-earned money to go watch shit like this, I might as well just do it at the crib, right? But man, we'll just see. Everyday Ross says, with no run game established, we need to start Aiden O'Connell, who can actually throw a deep ball. Look, here's the thing. I think if you don't have a run game, it don't matter if you got Aiden O'Connell out there, if you got Jimmy Garoppolo out there, Brian Hoyer, they're all not gonna live up to their potential. Really, 90% of the quarterbacks in today's NFL, if they don't have a run game, and that's the thing, the Raiders literally don't have a run game. Like last week, we ran for negative yards. This week, we did a little bit better. I mean, you could say a little bit better. Josh Jacobs ran for like 19 carries for 60 yards, even though, towards the end of the game, when the Steelers defense was playing a little bit more passive, more soft coverage and stuff, that's when we kind of was able to run the ball a little bit more effectively. But even then, we're getting 5-6 yards. So the Raiders literally got no run game. Jimmy Garoppolo, to me, is not the quarterback that's built to throw the ball 40 plus times a game. And that's why we saw 3 interceptions. So, and Aiden O'Connell, I mean, what's a rookie quarterback's best friend? It's typically a run game and, a reliable receiver like Devontae Adams. So it's so frustrating. Anderson Martinez says, where's the pass rush? Today I mean, there were times we weren't getting pressure. There was one time where we should have got a sack. I think Malcolm Kuntz was really close to getting a sack, and then Kenny Pickett was able to get out of that and then run for a first down. So I don't know. I mean, the defense I didn't think was that bad, but just based on the last 2 film studies that I saw when it comes to the all 22 tape on the defense, this defensive line ain't it. Tua can throw long bombs and isn't afraid to throw to its speedster. We have the offensive pieces minus Jimmy Garoppolo. Look, Jimmy Garoppolo. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that Jimmy Garoppolo is the future of this team. I thought Jimmy Garoppolo was exactly what he is right now. I thought he was a solid quarterback. I thought he's essentially like a stopgap quarterback, a bridge quarterback, till they eventually find their guy via the NFL draft. And now the question is, who are they going to end up drafting? I mean, they got Aiden O'Connell. That's why I'm saying you got to put this guy on the active game day roster. That way, if Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt one of these games, get him out there. Let's see what the kid can do. For all we know, he might go out there and ball out. This could be like a Brock Purdy situation with the San Francisco 49ers last year. I mean, what if this kid comes in here and he plays pretty good? At that point, I mean, the Raiders are in a pretty good spot, man. You don't necessarily you're not necessarily forced to draft a quarterback so early. You can still do it if you really want to, but we'll just see. Cosmic Cactus says Lamar would run it. I mean, let me know, man. Let me know in the comment section down below. Would you guys want a guy like Lamar Jackson? Me personally, I don't think, like I said, I don't think the Raiders are really built to go all out for a quarterback like that. I think the formula for the NFL is pretty clear. Either the easiest way to get to Super Bowl, I should say, is to be able to draft a quarterback. If you can hit on a quarterback in the first, second round, it really don't matter. If you can hit on the quarterback, then your Super Bowl window has essentially, opened up. It's hard to trade so much for a guy like that, especially when you still need so many, pieces on the defensive side of the football. But yeah, man. Even big man Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, nah. That fool's done for, man. Dodgers, everything says, just hope we can turn this ship around. I'm right there with you, man. Look, my expectations for the seasons weren't super high. I mean, initially I had 7-10. After kind of what I was seeing in the offseason, things looked like they were kind of headed in the right direction. So that being said, I kind of jumped that to like an 8-9. But the way this team is looking right now, they're looking like 5-12, maybe even like 5-12 or so. So they're not looking good right now. I mean, next week is going to be a huge matchup for the Raiders, another divisional rival. The Chargers are now 1-2 as well. The Raiders are 1-2. So it's gonna be a big matchup for us. We can't afford to go 1-3. If so, man, oh my God, it's not looking good for us. The Raiders, I don't think we're gonna be a team that we can dig ourselves in such a big hole like we did last year. 1-4, something like that, and be able to turn things around. Ultimately, we weren't able to do that last year, even though we got on a little roll where we were like had a 3-game win streak. But it's gonna be imperative that throughout the first 5 games, at the bare minimum we have to be 2-3. So hey, shout out to Samoan Uso. He said, "Do you think that was a bad call on Fitzpatrick's sack?" Yeah, you're talking about the roughing the passer call on Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah, that was a bad call. That to me, that was clean. I don't even understand why they called roughing the passer, because Jimmy Garoppolo still had the ball in his hands. If anything, you maybe call unnecessary roughness, but I don't think that was a flag. But whatever, man. They gave it to us. Every now and then you're gonna get a call your way, but and that was the moment of the game when the Raiders got back into the game. We score the touchdown. We score the 2-point conversion. Most importantly, the defense gets a stop. We get the ball back. We get into the red zone. This is the time where you should be aggressive. You need a touchdown no matter what. And what does Josh McDaniels do? He kicks the field goal. Look, more times than not and not just with the Raiders, you just look throughout the NFL, in these same situations where it's like, do you go for it on 4th down, or do you kick the field goal and try to get the ball back? More times than not, it bites it bites the team in the ass unless you just have a great defense. But I can't believe Josh McDaniels did that. I mean, I was so frustrated. I kind of got my hopes up, right? I mean, we're down like 23-7. It's looking like we're getting dominated out there. I was already getting ready to, like, what am I gonna say on this loss? And then out of nowhere, we kind of get back into it, man. I build a little bit of hope. Okay, man, what if the Raiders can tie this up? What if we can take this to overtime? I mean, the Raiders, the past couple of years, man, when the Raiders get to overtime, I mean, they've been able to pull out some crazy games, but we didn't get a chance to send this game to overtime. Dodgers Everything says no Lamar Jackson. He wanted $240 million. Yeah, I understand. This team's not really built to spend that much money on a quarterback, and even then, like, he's a cool quarterback, but like, I'm only spending that much money on like a top 5 quarterback. I don't think Lamar Jackson is that, but don't get me wrong, he's a good QB out there, but it's not worth it. I'd rather draft a quarterback and try to build that way. Xavier Foster says either Aiden or Caleb will activate this offense. Tom Brady threw deep. Jimmy G can't throw like either of these three. I mean, Tom Brady did throw deep, but he didn't throw bombs. I mean, he didn't throw bombs like Tua Tagovailoa, stuff like that. I mean, Tom Brady knew when to take his shots. He knew when he had single coverage and no safety over the top to his top talent wide receivers. He would take those shots. A lot of times he would get those pass interferences. So, but then again, I mean, Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. So, but man, I see 5-12. The way it's looking right now, yeah, right around 5-12 and 6-11. And at that point, like, we were 6-11 last season. If we go 5-12 this season, we're literally regressing. I don't like what I'm seeing. If that's a scenario, I would really like for us to consider other options at the head coaching position, but we'll see, man. I understand everybody's very frustrated. Everybody's gonna say fire Josh McDaniels, but like I said, I'm gonna give him the whole season. Let's see what he can do. Let's see if he can turn it around. But things are not looking good right now. And the unfortunate thing is, they haven't got better. We still can't run the ball. Jimmy Garoppolo's still struggling, when it comes to throwing the deep ball. Offense can't even put over 20 points on the board. I think the defensive line is still very suspect. Oh, it looks like it's headed towards a long season, but Xavier says, I respect the toughness Jimmy showed in this game, but Mans why? But Mans was down like Yamcha after that helmet tackle. Sorry for that image. I mean, yeah, I will say Jimmy G he's tough, bro. He can take a shot to the chin. Like I said, I thought he was gonna get injured on that hit, but he came back. Jimmy G is a tough guy, but ideally you don't want to have him in those situation times and time in and time out. If the Raiders can't run the ball, if we have to throw the ball 40 plus times, if he keeps taking those types of hit, he's gonna get injured for sure. And like I said, I don't want to see Brian Hoyer out there, so. But Raider Nation, I mean, let me know what you guys thought about the game. Let me know if you guys want to talk about anything else before we wrap up this live show. But I just had to jump on real quick because, oh my God, man, I was so frustrated with the overall play calling and the key decisions that we were supposed to make in this team, and just the offense being so stagnant out there. Once the all 22 film comes out, tomorrow at some point, I'm definitely going to keep a close eye on the offensive side of the football, analyze to see what exactly happened. Let's see, what Jimmy Garoppolo was actually seeing down there on those turnovers. Let's see why we still can't run the football. let's look at that deep blown coverage. Let's see what actually happened back there. But Tucker is another key to this offense. Yes, I do agree. We do have to find a way to incorporate him a little bit more, not just in deep passes, but we saw it last week versus the Buffalo Bills. You can get this guy involved in jet sweeps, and even if you're not gonna use him in the jet sweep, use him on the pre-snap motions. That way you can see if the opposing defense is running man-to-man coverage, and just in general, give the linebackers somebody to look at, right? And if you can utilize them effectively, if he can be a legitimate threat, then that can open things up for this offense. But Raider Nation, that being said, I'm gonna wrap it up for today's live show. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one.
Jacobs is on his way. The Raiders are going to win this game.
Bei Scores.
Then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.